Let me tell you about my show. Wednesday nights. And here we go. It's the rule of three with a touch of Basco. And like the Joker says, and here we go. It's Wednesday night and it's 9 o'clock. Click on the thumbnail, it's about to get hot. We get 3 different questions in only 3 minutes. It ain't for the scared, it ain't for the timid. Some will like us and some just don't. A lot will back us and some just won't. It don't matter with the Khaos crew. We specialize in making things do what they do. So sit back, chill, and enjoy the show with me, Chris, Guy Scar, and Nzo.
Fire, peace. 9 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Don't miss it. Check us out.
What is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight, and this is Khaos Central's The Rule of Three. 1 day behind. Yesterday was a little busy. Today was busy, so we will not have a final 5, but we will have the 3 subjects. So next week, look for final 5 and all that to be back. Yeah, what can I say? It happens sometimes. Guys,
Chris was being lazy, guys. Didn't want to do his job today. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, yeah. That's not quite what it was, but think of it as you will. It's fine. But before we get started, guys, let's go ahead and go around. Nzo, we'll start with you. Tell everybody about yourself and what you got going on.
What's up, guys? Biggaford Entertainment. As you've seen, Chris, I had to do the OOC on the Khaos channel last week. Yeah, so, but hopefully I should be back though, guys, back with our channel. But I think we're gonna do Miss Marvel on Sundays now.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine because I can't. I might be able to do it on Sunday. I can't do it tomorrow. I know that, but I might be able to work something out on Sunday.
Cool.
But next Sunday for sure I can. This Sunday is it's
kind of iffy.
We'll see what happens. I'll try to be there though. Yeah, all good, great. Danny.
I am Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can find me here Monday through Wednesday with these 2 guys here as we try to bring our brand of content, make you think, make you laugh, make you sometimes get into heated debates like we did last night. Well, 2 participants, not myself, but it's very interesting, man. We all bring something different to the table, different flavors, different points of view. This week, man, I've really been enjoying our content. So I hope that whatever energy that we have, we keep this up. And I look forward to tonight being just as good as the past 2 nights.
I hope that I can deliver with what we got.
It's gonna be a tough task, Chris. You're following me. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, that's all right. I think I can handle it because I got 3 topics. It surrounds one particular topic, but it encompasses other topics. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because I pulled out the racial card last week with Bill Cosby.
Okay.
Yeah, so. I know. It's all good. All right, here we go. Let's make sure I got everything lined up, ready to go. I think I do. All right. So last week, who went first? I think it was Nzo. So this week we'll let Danny go. Just so you guys know, if you're watching this now or after the fact, this week in the Khaos Central chat or in the Khaos Central Twitter and in my Twitter, I will post a poll, and that poll will have the numbers 1, 2, and 3 in it. And you guys are going to pick next week what order we go in. So whichever one gets the most votes, that'll be the first one we take next week. Whatever gets the second most votes, that'll be what we do second next week. And of course, third one always what's left over. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to share the screen. All right, Danny, topic number 1, number 2, or number 3?
I think I'm going to go with 3.
3. I'm trying to remember what order these are in. All right. In cases such as R. Kelly,
Jesus.
Hold on. And I'm not by any means. I got these names in there. That does not mean I'm equating one to the other. Just listen. In cases such as R. Kelly, Charles Manson, and other convicted of crimes who have works, be it movies, books, music, etc., Where should the money go from these works? Who should make that decision? The courts or victims? Should it become public domain for use without compensation? So that means
Ooh.
if you wanted to do something over the beat of an R. Kelly song, you would have the right to do it without compensation. It would be free to use, no questions asked. Should that be how it's handled, or should this be put? Money should be put towards it, or should both kind of happen?
Ooh.
So that's
Mm.
question number one.
Good one. I like it.
All right, Danny, 3 minutes. You start now.
I think if you're convicted of a crime like R. Kelly is, um, you still should get paid for your music. Maybe not the whole thing, but you should get a portion. Let's say
Okay.
we're going to divide up into a pie. Maybe you get 30% of the proceeds. Um, then the victims should get a certain percentage, depending on the number of victims. Then it should maybe go to some kind of charity or something to prevent whatever crime you committed. So let's say if you're childless, whatever, then it goes to the fight on that particular whatever its name, or if you a drunkard or whatever, it goes to the mad or alcohol, whatever characteristic problem you have, it'll go to a agency that fights that or tries to help or treat that particular ailment. But I don't think you should be cut totally from, because at the end of the day, you did make that music. Now, because you did evil things, I don't think you should be cut out totally. Like I said, maybe a smaller piece of the pie. Say if you get 100% of it, then maybe you get 30% of it, and that sets in some kind of account. So when you're released from jail, you still can have a way to, I guess, live somewhat. Maybe not the lifestyle you're used to, but I think you should not be stripped of all your stuff just because you made a mistake like that. Even though it's a criminal offense, I think there are different levels to some criminal offenses. Murder, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, this is going to sound really, really bad, but he didn't kill anybody. Um, if he is truly reformed, he could go back and apologize and look that person in the face. And if he's changed, he could probably champion it, kind of like how Magic Johnson was diagnosed with HIV virus. Then he championed and brought more light to that particular disease. So maybe if R. Kelly is truly changed and reformed, he could bring light and speak on the things he shouldn't have done, and possibly save somebody else from making the mistakes that he made. Just in, I guess, thinking positive, I'm going to say that. But at the end of the day, I do not believe that the individual that commit the sort of crime that he did should have his money totally taken from him. A smaller percentage, definitely a percentage of the victims, and definitely to a kind of foundation to help treat whatever particular ailment the the person that committed the crime did. And I think the court should have a say in that, and it should be something that is well documented, that has very specific do's and don'ts, very specific guidelines. As long as they can put something in place like that, then I have no problem with that.
Okay, very good. We're going to have a poll here in just a second, so make sure you guys vote in it. It'll be about this question. For those of you who just came in, we'll go back to the question.
Mm-hmm.
That question is, in cases such as R. Kelly, Charles Manson, and others convicted of crimes who have works, be it movies, books, music, etc., where should the money go from these works? Who should make the decision, the courts or victims? Should it become public domain for use without compensation? Those are the questions. So that's the general question right there. Bring this back up. And Anzo, you have 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Yeah. When I first got this question, I was on the side of, maybe you give it to charity or do something like that. But then I was listening to Danny and I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with him. I don't think that the artist should lose all of his money because it's still his hard work that he put into making that music, right? But I do think that maybe you take a portion of it and you give it to um, a charity or to, like him, it's underage girls, right? So I think you to give it to charity that helps, those type of things that happen. So I definitely agree with that. I personally still listen to R. Kelly's music. I still will. I won't buy it, right? And that's the thing. Will people really buy anything if he were to come out with anything else? Absolutely not, right? But if they did, then I think all that money should go to him. But anything he's done before he went to prison, like royalties and stuff like that, then yeah, I think he should get a little bit of those royalties. But at the end of the day, like Danny said, he didn't kill anybody. You know what I mean? Um, I guess there could be degrees to it. A murderer or something like that. I don't think they should get any type of money or some. It's hard. It's hard to just sit there and say, well, this is what should be done, or this or that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think a lot of the funds that he would get by maybe royalties from some of his albums should go to victims. That I 100% agree with. That it should go to some victims that, that's a way right now because he's broke, right? So that would be a way for these victims to get some kind of compensation. But then again, it's like, okay, does it go to the victims that he hurt, or does it go to victims, a charity of victims in general? Because if it goes to the ones that supposedly he hurt, then people say, oh, you see, they did it for the money. They did it for the money. So they'll start to look bad. So I think it should go to a fund, charity fund, and whoever needs the help should get it. That's what I think.
Okay, very good. All right, let's do this. Oh, there we go. All right. So I think those are both very valid things to be putting out there. I think it needs to be a combination of a little bit of all of this. First off, you got to take care of your victims. So if there is a monetary amount for what do they call that? Restitution. There's a monetary amount of restitution due to the victims. First off, that's got to be paid. If the artist himself or herself or whoever cannot pay up front, then your music from this day forward is going to pay for that. So what you would do then is, if it's Warner Brothers, I can't remember who he was on on his contract. I don't know who had his contract, but whoever that is would then go back through all of his catalog and put a sticker on it saying your purchase helps pay back the victims of this person's crime, or something like that. Very, very poignantly making sure your money is not going to him. Once that's paid, I think there needs to be a monetary part from the courts put on the whole case that says after that, there'll be a donation to sexual sexual trafficking, whatever the charity is for that, and we're going to then take the money from your sales. A new sticker gets put on it. Your purchase of this, the money for this purchase goes completely to XYZ charity. Once that's met, I think two things need to happen. Anybody who wants to use that music can use that music free of charge. But if they want to buy the album after that, it can go to the artist. And I think it should go straight to public domain after that point. And then it's up to the person. Do I go and just use it, however, or do I go and I pay for it? I mean, I don't know. And that's how I think it should go. I think there should be a combination of all of these. And I think, again, putting it to public domain then gives the person the right to use it. However, that means you could use it if you wanted to rap over it, Danny. We could use it in intros and exits and all that stuff. And they can't do anything to us. There has to be some sort of a penalty. You shouldn't necessarily be able to indiscriminately gain money from something you did. And we know a lot of this stuff, since the 90s at least, that he's released, he was doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's made a ton of money off of this stuff. Now, yes, he has spent most of that money defending himself. He's lost a lot of it because of improper usage of it. But hey, he's made his money off of a lot of this stuff. So I'm not positive that he should just be able to get that money without any problems. So I think that there should be a step-by-step process. First victims, then let's help some charity that fights this type of thing. Then we can say maybe it goes 50-50, 50 to charity and 50 to him or something, every purchase after the fact. But it also goes out in public domain, so it can be used. Now, if you want to physically own the copy, you have to buy it. But if you want to use it in a video or something like that, that's what I mean. It should be free. So let's talk about this really quick.
You see, I can agree with you on that, but what we got to understand is what we usually use are the beats, right? And those beats weren't made by R. Kelly. They were produced by someone else.
That's true to some extent. Normally the beat you hear in R. Kelly's music or whoever, Drake, whoever, they came from someplace else first, but lots of times they're a combination. They're a combination also. They add stuff to it, but that underlying beat, where that came from. And so that, yes, that's a slippery slope, but I think it would be very poignantly put, like you put it in YouTube music. I mean, you just put it up there. Hey, you want to use R. Kelly, blah, blah, blah. And they could give you the actual song, or they can give you just the beat from that song. That way you would know I'm using this from YouTube music. And maybe YouTube music, maybe that's who does it, not YouTube music, but the free music thing we can go to. Or it goes on public domain, and I'm pulling directly from that one. But yeah,
I can kind of get with that. I wouldn't have an issue if they were to be like, you know what, all his music from the past while he was doing this, free to use, public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that wants
why they won't let anybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
If you're just using the beat, let's say 30, 45 seconds, to me, it's crazy to charge somebody for that. Now, if you take that song and then just totally just use the whole thing and using some of the hooks and all that kind of stuff, okay, I can see that. But if you're just using it like how I do and I see I don't see why. Okay, you can get all the money. I don't want no money for that. I just like the beat. And I don't think I should get a strike or even a copyright claim for it. I mean, I'm not.
That's where fair use and stuff comes into play. And again, you're playing when you're doing that. You're doing fair use. You've changed it. You've modified it.
Some songs
ripping off all of it.
Like that. Getting Ugly. Every time I play that version, it's a hit. Now the ones so far, the last ones we made, I haven't got anything on it. I don't know if y'all get it or not when y'all play it. But I haven't gotten any copyright claims on Craig Mack, and I was like, I'm no puff going on.
So, well, I mean, like I said, I think you should be able to do that, and that's why you have the right to fight it. But it's really difficult. Again, we won't get into the fair use stuff with YouTube. But no, I mean, I think that something like that, there's got to be a penalty, especially when you talk about somebody like R. Kelly, because R. Kelly kind of used his music and that image that he had built for years to lure these people to him.
Well, he stole that look from Aaron Hall.
But he did.
So I think there's some penalty for that. Yeah, I think there's some penalty for that. But again, that's a case-by-case basis. And that's true. He may not own it. And then in that case, I guess the label just gets all of it. Or the label splits.
I believe some stuff he might be owned, but I don't know about all of it.
Yeah, no, he doesn't own any of it. That was one of the biggest issues when he started the court case, that he didn't have no money and they weren't giving him any because he didn't own any of the rights to his music.
Guys, keep voting for a minute until we get
So he made his money, he was touring.
Well, no, I mean, you get paid for doing it, right? You just don't own the rights. You'll get the royalties or stuff if it's played again, but he can't take that music and use it for himself. The company owns the music.
Yeah, he don't have the masters. Okay.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's very rare that an artist does own their own music. It's very rare.
I know that was a big
It
thing
is true.
between Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, because I
Well,
think
yeah.
Michael Jackson bought the catalog, all the Beatles, and I think Sir McCartney thought he was going to give it back, but Mike was like, can't do it.
Mhm.
Ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a partial problem of that. And again, that goes into a whole nother
That's crazy,
realm
man.
of effed up.
You can't ask somebody to give you that kind of money. Mike, I know you own $1 billion worth of my music. Can I have it back? No. You can pay
Well,
for it.
he ended up, I think, getting a majority of it back and then selling it again because now Apple owns all of that now. And
Yeah.
I think Apple owns all the Beatles catalog. I think they might have bought his. You've heard it recently. Justin
Should.
Timberlake just did it. Ted Nugent, I think, did it. Cartney. A lot of these people are selling because what they're realizing is especially like Paul McCartney. I mean, how many more years do I have? I might as well just sell this, get the money, and walk. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of that.
I would leave it for my family. Let them live off it.
Well, the money could go to your family too. I mean, I don't know. Okay, Anzo, number 1 or number 2?
Let's go with number 2.
Number 2. You guys go. What's funny is this is like a reverse order of how I put them. Sometimes I flip them out. I flip them up so they're not in any certain order. This one in particular, I did have in a particular order, but that's all right. Should works of people such as Kevin Spacey, R. Kelly, Mel Gibson, O.J. Simpson be tossed aside or forgotten because those people made said works? So, in other words, people who are disgraced, people who have done stuff to disgrace themselves, should their works be disgraced? If not convicted of any crime, should it determine how these works are looked at? Name a movie or album of someone convicted either in a criminal court or a court of public opinion that you still watch or listen to.
I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, so basically, what I'm asking here is should the fact that somebody is either convicted criminally or in the court of public opinion, should that affect how that movie or that album is looked at after the fact? And then that's basically that main question. And then name a movie or an album that you listen to today that is still that came from something like that, say R. Kelly or anything like that. Anzo, 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Yeah, well, I've said it many times and I'll say it again. I've always been able to separate the art from the artist. I listen to the music. I really have never been one of those people that care about what these celebrities do in their private life, because people put them on pedestals and act like they can't do no wrong, but they're humans, right? Regardless of how you want to look at it, and everybody makes mistakes. And some of them made mistakes. Some of them did it willingly, knowing they were doing it, but still made mistakes. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, for me, I just think that when it comes to, what they did as an art, the music, the movies, I still watch Usual Suspects. I'll still watch those movies. I'll still watch the Naked Gun movies, even though OJ is in it. I'll still watch them. I think that it can be done. I know people can't do it because they feel like if you're listening to the music or watching the movies, you're supporting the artist, which definitely is not the case. Just because I'm listening to R. Kelly music doesn't mean I'm supporting or representing what he's done. I said many times that R. Kelly's music have brought me through some tough times in my life. So because of that, I'm supposed to stop listening to that music. People like to talk about, oh, now you listen to his music and, it's like, oh, feeling on your booty or this and that. And it's like, oh, he's talking about little girls, and this and that. And I'm like, but that okay, if that's what you're getting from it, fine. That's not what I'm listening to it for. Right? I'm not putting those two things together to say, oh, well, now every sexual song he's done is he's talking about some underage girl. I'm not going to do that. right? So I'll definitely be able to separate that from that. I still enjoy the movies, I still enjoy the music, I'm still gonna listen to it. The person itself, piece of shit, whatever you want to call him, I'll agree with that. But just because the person did something, I'm not gonna ruin my enjoyment of a movie or a song because I don't like the person. You know, everybody's talking about this Amber Heard stuff. Oh, she needs to be taken out of Aquaman. And I don't care if she's in there or not because you're not going to see the Amber Heard Aquaman. You're going to see Jason Momoa Aquaman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she has a few scenes in there. Whoop de doo, right? You know, we all know what she did, but at the end of the day, I'm going to see the movie. I'm listening to the music. I'm not going to see his concert. I'm not paying any money for it. I'm just listening to the music because I enjoy the music. I'm watching the movies because I enjoy it. So I think you should be able to or at least me personally, I can separate the artist from the person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. Yeah, I know you've mentioned R. Kelly. That's kind of why I did it. And at the heart of all these questions, kind of today, is that cancel culture thing. It's like, should we really be canceling these people or the things they've done because of that? I mean, isn't that
Mm-hmm.
what this is about?
Mm-hmm.
Danny, 3 minutes. Go.
I'm agree with what Anzo said, and I'll give you my own personal example. I think former President Donald Trump is one of the worst presidents we ever had. He is one of the most unpresidential presidents we ever had in my lifetime. I've been living now 51 years. But Donald Trump makes an excellent necktie. I'm a necktie freak. I have two Donald Trump neckties. I'm not throwing them away because I don't like him. So I'm not going to stop listening to music because R. Kelly committed a crime. I'm not going to stop watching Bill Cosby because Bill Cosby did a crime. I'm not going to stop watching Kevin Spacey in the movies he did that I like because he was accused of committing a crime. So I too, like Anzo, I can separate the artist from the art, um, the musician from the music. So I like R. Kelly music. Um, I think some of it is some of the best music I've ever heard. I like all the In the Closet episodes. It was entertaining to me. But I probably will not buy his. I know I won't as long as they put it on YouTube, but that's free. I'll click on YouTube, put it on my playlist on my phone, and keep it moving. But to purchase it, no. So, um, yeah, I don't think we should cancel an individual because I know there was a time when you couldn't find Bill Cosby on any TV network, but now I'm starting to see it some on TV Land and BET and stuff. So he's making a comeback, and I think it was very unfair in that particular example. The other actors and actresses had to suffer, excuse me, for his mistake because they weren't able to get that revenue from syndication. But now that they're going back on there, then I think that revenue stream is picking back up, which I'm happy for them for that. Um, so, uh, like Anzo said, I can definitely separate one from the other. And that mean, and I in no way agree with what R. Kelly did. I in no way agree with what Bill Cosby did. I in no way agree with what Kevin Spacey was accused of. That particular lifestyle is not for me. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But I can separate that. If you get on the screen and you entertain, you're a fabulous actor, actress, yeah, but your lifestyle is not conducive to mine. I'm not going to start watching it. And I don't care what you do in your private life. Same way they don't care what we do in our private life. So that's not going to stop me. This cancel culture should definitely stop. But I'm going to be kind of hypocritical because I kind of don't watch Will Smith stuff yet. But I'm sure I get over that probably in another few months. But since he did that slap on Kevin Rock, I'm kind of see myself drifting from his stuff.
That is interesting. You know, I gotta say that's very interesting because
Mm-hmm.
I find it, and not to say anything about that. It's really interesting that what he did on the scale of some of these people was pretty minor. And I mean, in a way, whether or not you want to call it that or not, he was in
But he
his
did not.
mind defending his wife.
Let me see if I can say the right word. He
Hmm.
demasculated. Is that the right word?
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah, I
emasculated.
mean, I
Yeah.
understand why you
Yeah.
feel that way. I'm not
I'm
saying
just
it's
like
wrong. It's interesting to me.
on
Um,
my playlist. I have brand new funk, which before Will Smith, I would never fast forward through it. But now I'm in the car and I'm listening to that. Bloop,
ooh, interesting. Okay,
I do. But I know me. A couple months,
You listen to it again.
I'll listen to
Yeah,
it again.
yeah.
okay, all right. So I'm right on board with you guys. I separate that. I don't think Mel Gibson's a good guy, but I will never stop watching Lethal Weapon. Never in my whole life will I ever stop. When the new Lethal Weapon comes out, he's directing it. He's going to star in it. I'm going to go watch it. Not because I like Mel Gibson as a person, because I don't know who Mel Gibson is as a person. For all I know, they lied about him being an anti-Semitic asshole. For all I know, he is one. I don't care because I don't look to stars. I don't look to movie stars or
Facts.
artists or anybody for my way of life or how I should conduct myself. I learned that from my parents, not from
Hmm.
Hollywood, not from artists, not for singers and all that. And I mean, I named it right there, Lethal Weapon. I saw somebody say Braveheart. I'm not a big Braveheart guy, but okay, Braveheart. I saw somebody saying The Naked Gun. Hey, O.J. Simpson did that. I still laugh at the stuff that O.J. Simpson did in that movie. I laugh.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, okay, and say what you will, he wasn't convicted, but oh, we um, kind of know what that happened, how that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and like Michael Jackson, I think Michael Jackson was railroaded constantly. He either had to pay to get out of it, and then people say, "Oh, he paid." Well, of course, wouldn't you?
Hmm.
Because the type of person and the way he grew up, um, I just don't think there was ever enough. There was enough there really to go after him because the people that would benefit from that happening to him, who had spent time with him, Macaulay Culkin, um uh, Corey Haim, or Corey Feldman, I can't remember which one it was. Lots of people spent time with him, and all they ever said is, "Oh, he gave me alcohol, or he let me look at Playboys." He was a weird dude. Let's just be honest. He was a weird dude, but I'm never going to stop listening to Michael Jackson music. Never. Same with R. Kelly. I love R. Kelly's music. I'm not going to stop listening to R. Kelly's music. I can separate these things. Um, you know, it just seems to me that, again, you said it, Anzo, the Amber Heard thing. Listen, I don't really care. Amber Heard needs to go away as far as what she's talking about with Johnny Depp. She just needs to get over herself, let that go, and then you know what? If she could be quiet about it and let it just kind of boil over, kind of like what Will Smith has done, um, after a bit, they should be able to go about their own way and go do what they want to do. But there might be a moment that you need to kind of put things on pause to let it all kind of pan out and die out. Uh, but no, nobody should be canceled per se because of bad choices. Because then you have to separate who the person is from what they did. Because R. Kelly is obviously very talented. Michael Jackson was very talented. Mel Gibson's very talented. O.J. Simpson had a very good talent in sports, and he just had kind of a way with comedy in those movies. So these people had talent. You just got to then separate it from the person.
Hmm.
So I think that's important. We'll talk about this for 3 minutes.
And that's the thing. It's like you said, right? We always talk about, and everybody talks about how cancel culture is so this and cancel culture is so that, but yet, they want to cancel everybody. You know what I mean? Yo, cancel this guy, cancel this. If you don't want to listen to his music, if you can't do it, that's fine, right? But I don't think you should condemn or be like people that do listen to his music are pieces of shit, or watch these movies are pieces of shit and you're supporting them. I don't think you should do that. You know what I mean?
Most of these people don't want to give mercy until they need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When they
Yeah.
family or they make a mistake or trip and fall, then they want forgiveness and mercy. No,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
6 months ago, you had the pitchforks and the damn torches going after this person. Now you
Hmm.
made a mistake. Now you want the mercy. That's the same way how I feel. How, and I know this might open a can of worms. I hope it don't. But these criminals, there are some criminals that are repeat criminals, and they still get breaks for technicalities. officer does a mistake, and I'm not including killing somebody. That is not in this.
Yeah, I
But
understand what
officer
you're
makes a
saying.
mistake, then they want to nail him to the wall. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't did this 4 or 5 times, and instead of get slapped on the wrist, the officer does something crazy, and then you want to crucify him. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I
Take his
feel you.
No.
take his livelihood. He should be officer again. And some people sometimes they take his pension, all that kind of stuff. But not only you destroying that officer, you probably destroying that family. So,
Yeah.
but
I think what David says right here, especially in movies and TV, their co-stars shouldn't be punished. There's also other people involved in these projects that make money when these movies resell or when they show back up on TV. It's not just O.J. Simpson in that movie. It's not
yeah,
just Mel Gibson in that movie. It's not just Kevin Spacey in that movie. There are other people that do get
yeah,
residual checks. Maybe not as much as him, but they
yeah.
still rely on those movies.
Malcolm
And
Jamal
then,
Warner, who plays Theo, was
yeah,
really upset
Right.
because he lost a lot of money over the years that Bill Cosby mistake,
hmm
and I don't think that's fair.
because yeah, I don't think so either.
Absolutely.
Um,
And just to your point, Danny, you're right, right? We said it even last night that sometimes the system is kind of messed up. You know what I mean? You're
Hmm.
absolutely right. These people there's some dudes that love being in jail. They love it.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
And when they're
Go
out,
ahead.
they can't function properly.
Yeah,
But then
that's
when they're
crazy.
in there, they feel like,
That's the craziest shit I've ever heard.
yeah,
Institutionalized, what they call it.
yeah, yeah, right. So,
Um, so Chris says, you can't separate the talent from the person because the that tells that originated in that person. If your art doesn't come from you, um, who you are and from who you are, then it's just fake. Okay, to an extent, you're right. But what I mean is, we can take the product of that talent and separate it from that person ourselves. Because I can still enjoy a song even if it has R. Kelly singing it, because well, he was talented. I'm not going to fault the guy for being talented, but I'm certainly not saying by listening to it that I condone what he did.
exactly.
Then a
And I
person
shouldn't.
can be a complete asshole in real life, but makes
Mm-hmm,
fantastic music. So
Hmm.
because he's an asshole to you and you don't like him, but when he gets behind that microphone or gets behind that guitar or whatever instrument and kills it, you're not gonna listen to it. So I don't agree with that statement entirely.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Um. All right. Last one here. R. Kelly was found guilty on charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. I think
Boy,
back
you
in
got
November or
Kelly
December.
fever tonight, boy.
Yes, it was, but that's what I'm saying. On Wednesday, the court sentenced him to 30 years in prison. This is essentially a life sentence for the 55-year-old. Do you believe this was a fair sentence? And do you believe that in cases like this, age should be considered? So, like this, or even like Bill Cosby. I mean, should Bill Cosby even been sent to prison before all of the changes? They went back and said, oh no, he shouldn't have gone. Even if that wasn't the case, should he have been sent to prison? Should people who have an age factor in there, should that be considered? So that's the question. 3 minutes. Who wants to go first on this?
I'll go.
I'll go. Oh, Danny, go ahead.
Danny? 3 minutes, Danny. Your time starts now.
This is a very, very slippery slope question right here.
Mm-hmm.
It the fair thing is no, age shouldn't matter. But how a lot of people determine punishment is how popular or nice they like the guy. If you're a likable guy and Bill Cosby's case, America's Dad and stuff, it's hard to slam dunk America's Dad. But if you're known as America's asshole, then it's easy to go, yeah, give him this, give him that. For instance, I think one of the most popular presidents was Bill Clinton. People might feel a certain kind of way if Bill Clinton said something, but most people aren't. If Donald Trump said it so none of it, yeah, go ahead, go right ahead. Especially a certain community in the United States. So I think it depends upon how the person is viewed, his or her popularity, has a lot to play with it. When I first hit 30 years, I was like, woo, that's a long
Hmm.
time. Um, and then like for the guy that killed guy in Boston, it was 20 years. I was like, I don't know. they had to give, to me, in my opinion, that sentence was something that they took a poll on it. What would be a sufficient number of years? We're not going to kill them, but what would be a sufficient number of years to keep the people in the United States from riding and necking a donkey? So I think 20 years was a right number, but I don't even think he's going to serve those 20 years. I could be totally.
Yeah. Hmm.
He'll, I think maybe 13, 12 to
Yeah.
13. He'll be out. He'll slide somewhere out maybe not the country, but some obscure part of the United States to live out his life. Um, I'm saying 30 years is too much for R. Kelly because I like R. Kelly. If I didn't like R. Kelly, I probably wouldn't care. But and I know his stuff, things he did, I will never ever agree with. But sometimes you just like what you like. And
Hmm.
as an artist, I like him. His music made me feel a certain kind of way. And if I'm being totally truthful, when I heard 30 years, I was like, whoa, that's a long time. He not the best years of his life, but some of the best years of the second part of his life, man, he is going to be behind bars. We was kind of cracking jokes yesterday about I hope he can fight and stuff, but 30 years just seemed a little excessive to me in this, especially when this racketeering, I think that was a grasp by law enforcement because they couldn't get him the other stuff. And I don't know. 30 years just seemed a little excessive to me, but nothing I can do about it. So, Mr. Kelly, I hope you will.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay. Anzo, 3 minutes. Time
Yeah.
starts now.
Again, I agree with Danny. When I seen that, I was like, yo, they gave R. Kelly 30 years. I get it. He maybe had you know, charge after charge after charge added up to 30 years. But I was watching this thing, the news, where they actually were asking for 25 years, and R. Kelly's team was asking for 10. So not only were
Mhm.
they asking for less years than he got, the judge took it upon himself to give R. Kelly that extra 5 years, right? I think that is absolutely unfair because, like Danny said, you have Shavin who killed George Floyd on camera, got 22 years, and will probably only serve, like he said, 13, 15 years, whatever they said it was, right? So you're telling me that taking a life, listen, what R. Kelly did, and by no means is anybody over
Mm.
here actually, trying to condone what he did, right? Not at all. But as I said last night, I think that the justice system is kind of messed up in that kind of way. I think you take somebody's life, you should not be getting out of jail. You should be doing life. Someone kill somebody and they say, okay, we're giving him life, he'll never get out again, then I'm like, okay, good. You know what I mean? Then I don't have an issue with R. Kelly getting 30 years. It's just the discrepancy in the cases and stuff like that has me just like, and Danny's right too. I like R. Kelly. I like his music. If it was anybody else, would I feel the same way? I probably not. You could call it bias. You know what I mean? You could definitely say I'm biased because I like his music. I don't have an issue with that. Um, but again, I maybe if it was someone else, I'd probably yeah, that's kind of excessive as well. I wouldn't care as much, but I'd probably still think it was excessive. And that's the problem that I have with it because not only is it obsessive, he got other trials that he's gonna go. Now, Daddy said maybe they'll do it concurrently or whatever, right? I don't know, but
Mhm.
if he, let's say they
If,
don't,
if they if they do it consecutively,
yeah,
he's fucked.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So let's say they do it consecutively, right? They're already saying he ain't getting out now until he's like going to be about 80, right? So now you add another 30 years to that, he's never getting out. Like R. Kelly will probably never see the light of day again. You know what I mean? He'll never be free again.
And
Mhm.
to me, that's sad.
Yeah,
Absolutely, because
it's absolutely sad, but
we've seen people who've done a lot worse and don't get the kind of severe punishment that he's getting. You know what I mean? So that's just my issue with it.
mhm. Okay. All right. I don't know how many people are actually he's being like, convicted of doing this to. I don't know how many counts he was
I don't know
actually
either.
charged with.
I don't know
I have
either.
to go look. But I do know that, strangely enough, not too long before this, and maybe the same day even, I can't remember, there was another sexual abuse to minors and sexual abuse case out there. And that was for the accomplice, and many say the person who brought the girls to the guy. That was Jeffrey Epstein's lover, whatever, and that's Ghislaine Maxwell, I think is how you say her name. Listen, this is a much better known case. This Jeffrey Epstein. There's a lot of questions still about the Jeffrey Epstein thing. There's a lot of big names attached to it, and this lady only got 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not trying to equate per se that if he was more involved, if he was more the Jeffrey Epstein side of this stuff that he was doing, or if other people brought them. And there's some question whether or not parents kind of were like, ooh, yeah, here, let my daughter stay with you. There's a lot of questions still open on this whole R. Kelly thing, and will we ever get all the answers? Doubtful. But my thing here is we got two similar cases, and you have a white lady who's fairly affluent, who ran the whole time, and when she was finally caught, now she's got 20 years. And I guarantee you, one, she probably could have gotten more and probably should have gotten more. And two, she's not going to be in a federal prison that's going to be as bad as wherever R. Kelly ends up in.
Is he going to be in a maximum
to me,
security prison?
It will be, but I don't think she'll be in nearly as bad of a place. And maybe she won't. She may not go to a maximum.
I'm asking, is R. Kelly going to go into maximum security?
There's a good probability of it, because he might have influence enough to try to break out, and that's probably what they'll say. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's probably why they would do it. I'm just saying that we can't go one way with one person who has, again, we don't even know how far deep the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing goes still. And yet here's one person finally convicted that only got 20 years. And, I don't know. And I think at 55, at some point, you put a bracelet on him. I mean, maybe say 70. So what, 15 years he should have gotten. And then you say, and then you're going to spend the rest of your time under a monitor. You can go back to a house or a halfway house or something. I think that maybe that should be looked at. But again, we have way too many people in prisons as it is right now. That certain cases might dictate a different approach to it. I'm not saying you let the guy go after 15 years, but you certainly could say, you're going to be 70. We're going to have people watching you. We're going to put you on a monitor. You're going to be on a sex offenders list. You put all this stuff against him, and well, then he's going to live the rest of his life pretty much in a crappy place wherever he is, even if he is quote unquote free. So 3 minutes we can talk together. Especially what? Go ahead.
They say in the comments about did Maxwell have a tape drop with her pissing? No, she didn't. But we got to realize pissing on that yellow shower, that's a fetish to some people.
Yes.
Nothing I'd ever do. Nothing that appeals to me at all. But some people like that. And I'm not saying, I mean, does it sound disgusting when you listen to it? If you're not into that, yes. Certain lifestyles and certain sexual choices sound disgusting if you listen to it and you're not into that particular lifestyle. But there's different strokes for different folks, so to speak. And I don't
like, we're not sitting here saying that the girls did enjoy it anyways, right? But there are some that do like it, right? And another thing I wanted to say is, let's pretend like this underage stuff in Hollywood is like new because of R. Kelly. All right. So I Googled something here, and I was going to do a video about it and bring it up, but I'll do it here. Jerry Seinfeld, it dated a 17-year-old.
Mhm.
Jerry Lee Lewis. All right, I'm not gonna
Cousin.
read
He
everything.
married. He married his cousin.
His
Yes,
cousin who was 14. Yes,
yes.
no, exactly.
Bill Wyman. All right, 13 or 14. That the Don
Woody Allen,
Johnson,
Don Johnson. Yes. Yeah.
Feige or Fergie, whatever that chick's name
Fergie.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she dated Justin Timberlake when he was 16.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nicole Swager, the girl, that singer girl.
Pussycat
Uh-huh.
Dolls.
Yeah, Pussycat Dolls and Harry
Her singer.
Styles,
Yeah,
Elvis
exactly.
Presley, Jimmy Page,
Mm-hmm.
Luke Beeson or whatever. Then we have
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly. Then we have Doug Hitchinson, Steven Tyler, Woody Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? So that's just some to name a few. I'm pretty sure if I Google, there's probably a lot more. So let's not pretend like this isn't something that's been going on in Hollywood. The only thing is, at this point, they have nothing. They're not making no money off of the guy. So now it's time to get him. You know what I mean? And I think, like we were talking earlier or before, I think that sometimes a lot of these industries put plants on these guys. It's like I'm gonna give you the rope. It's up to you to hang yourself. And I believe they do that a lot to keep them under control.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when you have so closely together two sentencings for lack of a better term, very similar things. Jeffrey Epstein would have Ghislaine go in and bring these women in, and as time went on, groom them to come and stay. And basically, they would stay, or very few of them, I guess, got away from it until after it was exposed. But they were basically the escort service to the stars. I mean, for lack of a better term. I mean, we
So
again we don't know all the names, but
when did Aaliyah first come out? R.
oh,
Kelly introduced her as an artist, correct?
Yeah, and he married her when she was 15. Hold on, I think it's here in the article.
1994.
Yeah,
Okay. So 1994 to 2022. So it took that many years to let this guy run him up.
that's what I'm saying, Danny. That's
That is
exactly
all I'm
Well,
what I'm
saying.
saying.
yeah. Well, and you
Because
said it.
he's
Woody
been do-
Allen is still out.
It's almost 30
and
years.
and
It's
this is the thing. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Danny. Sorry.
it's 28 years. So it took 28 years to catch this man.
Exactly. And this is the thing I'm saying, Danny. They knew what he was doing, right? So as
Mhm.
long as he was making money, they hit it. All of a sudden, he's not making no money no more. There's no way they can hide it. It's like, oh no, we can't hide it anymore. But when he was making money for them, when he was the golden goose,
And
guaranteed.
let me put this disclaimer out before y'all go cutting shit up. Me and
Mm-hmm.
Alonzo and Chris are not agreeing or condoning R. Kelly actions. We
Facts.
are just playing devil's advocate and saying, look, yeah, he was wrong, but guess what? He wasn't the only person that was wrong. Because all
Facts.
these people enable him to do a lot of that stuff because he was the talent. He was making all the money. They were getting rich all up, so they kind of turned the blind eye. Even some of the parents.
Mm-hmm.
So let's don't put everything. Let's don't put the only net we put in the loose is R. Kelly. No, there should be a whole line of nooses.
Facts.
Yeah.
And one thing I even forgot to say last night, Danny, because we were talking about the surviving R. Kelly. If you watch that documentary, right, there were at least 3 times where the girl's parents came for the girl. R. Kelly was nowhere to be found, and the girl still didn't leave. She
Yeah, and
still
that's what
didn't
I'm
leave.
talking.
They
Yeah.
went to the hotel. They found her at a hotel, right? One of the girls. They found her at a hotel and they begged her to leave. They begged her. It took them like hours or days to get her to leave. They finally got her to leave. What did she end up doing? She went back.
Yeah, but they're gonna say,
Mhm.
well, that could be immature because she's a young girl. She may be not mature enough to read the writing on the wall, so to speak.
Exactly, I get that 100%. But, and I'm gonna give a but because it's a devil's advocate.
Okay.
There are some 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds that don't give a shit. They
Yeah.
will do whatever they want to. I was talking with Roberto, right? And it was about I'm like, yo, man, these parents are letting their little girls run out there, like underage girls run out there with these little poom poom shorts and stuff like that. And Roberto said, yeah, before sometimes that's not how they leave the house. They go to
Right.
their friend's house and change, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's not act like, okay, so 18 year adult, right? You're considered an adult some places,
And
right?
here in this state, in a lot of states, the legal age of consensual sex
Is
is 16.
16. Yes,
Yeah. hmm
exactly.
You forgot the other one that's on the run in Europe, and that's Roman Polanski.
Hmm.
And he's been on the run for a while. But
Hmm.
no, I think you make a good point. And again, I think everybody needs to hear this again because I think we all need to say it 1,000 times. We're not condoning it. We're saying, why is it just R. Kelly that should be on the hook? Kind of like I said last week about Bill Cosby. Why is Bill Cosby on the hook for $500,000 when, again, as much as I love the guy and what he did, as far as public appearance, Hugh Hefner's estate should be paying $500,000 because they let the minor into the mansion. And I mean, I don't know if you've been to parties or not back in the
But
day or
see, Hugh
now.
Hefner is beloved. Bill Cosby now
Well,
is
yeah, well,
villainized.
that's my
So
point. That's my point. Bill Cosby's the easy target. That's kind of where I'm going with
Hmm.
this. Is that, but what's funny is that if you think about it, you know, if you ever go to a party, even back in the day, did you ever card anybody at that party? If somebody
Exactly.
told you when you walked into a house, hey, no, only people here are 21, did you
Hmm.
card everybody in that part? No.
you might be
And
carding the
now you,
males. You didn't card the females because you want the females in
well,
there.
my point, no, what I
Facts.
mean is you personally, if a woman comes on to you or if you're hanging out with a chick and things are going the right way, did you card her before you went anywhere? Well,
Right.
why was Bill Cosby required to figure out that this was a 17-year-old or however old she was
Right.
when
When
this,
she's in a place that's
they
supposed
were
to
in a
be over
club that should have,
18
yeah,
or
exactly.
21
So,
or whatever it is.
and
Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
ties right into this whole thing of this pedophilia or whatever you want to call it. That age of 14 to 18 has been blurred by Hollywood
Now,
by
now I'm gonna play
music.
devil's advocate on
Mm-hmm.
that. That point you made, I hear what you're saying. But back
Mm-hmm.
then, females weren't as developed as they are now.
Not all of them,
When I went to
but
school, you very seldom saw a voluptuous white female. You just didn't
I
have.
understand that.
Now,
And I agree with you 100%, Donnie, and I agree with that. But you also can understand that maybe there's some women that are late developers, right? Maybe she was
Mm-hmm.
one of the early ones at the time. I don't know what she looks like. I don't know what she looked
I
like
don't
then.
know either.
So right, so
Mm-hmm.
I can't really like say that that's the case. But I'm just saying as a general, if I'm going to a club and I know it's 18 years or older to get in, I'm going to assume that everybody in there is over 18. You know what I mean? Now, a club is a little bit different, but when you're going to like a Hugh Hefner sex, like Playboy Bunny
Mm-hmm.
mansion, you know?
But you never see a female walk by. And I know I do it all the time. Is that a girl or a woman?
Yeah, 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 absolutely, all the time, all the time.
Because I'm not interested in girls at all. I want to lust after a woman, not a girl.
Yo,
Yeah.
one time, Danny, I remember, um, I was maybe like 40, right? And I'm walking through the mall, and I see this older woman, and then there's this young girl there, right? So I'm watching the older woman, I'm like, yo, it's kind of hot, you know what I mean? And I see one of my boys, older than me, and he's like, hey, what's up, yo, you see that over there, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, like, the older woman. He's like, no, 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 not her, the younger one. I'm like, bro, what are you looking at that for? He's like, oh, the younger one, that's where it's at, you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, but what's she gonna do for you? You know what I
Nothing.
mean? Like nothing, bro. And that's the mentality that some of these guys have. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care.
I remember a guy in my platoon. I was like, bro, you are sick. All he wanted was like young girls like that.
Hmm. Right. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And to me, and I say it, and I fuck it. I said it. It's probably because the man them have small peepees, right? And they can't, and they can't fucking deal with a woman, so they gotta go with a young one who's
Ooh,
inexperienced. That's what it
wow.
is. You
Mm-mm.
don't got no
Damn.
fucking confidence in your game, or you got
Mm,
small PP, and you think, well, I can't get a woman to do it, so let me go get a youngin.
That's pretty bad.
Damn. Damn. Okay. Well, guys, as I said at the beginning of the show, no final five tonight. But we had a great conversation. We got 4 polls I put up. We're going to start with where should the money go for from an artist's work if they are convicted of a crime like R. Kelly, victims, public domain, artist, or a combination of the 3. Combination of the 3 got 0%.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all some cold-hearted bastards.
Victims, 42%. Public domain, 42%. And the artist, only 14%.
That is crazy.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah, that's a... Should the works of a person who has been convicted or disgraced be diminished because of it? 71% said no, 28% said yes. I didn't realize it would be 30% yes, it should be.
Wow.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That's why we have no Dukes of Hazzard. That's why we have no Cosby Show left. It's like, because 30% of the people out there don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, what happened with Dukes of Hazzard?
Dukes of Hazzard was taken off just because of the flag.
Confederate flag.
The reason why they took it off. And don't get me wrong, I understand the problem with the flag.
That didn't bother me. Every Friday night at 8 o'clock, I was watching Dukes of Hazzard.
And they took it off. And most people weren't bothered by it. It's like, that's why I think that 70-30% is a very telling thing. Because I think that's what it's really like out in the public. Is like 30% of the people make enough noise that they're like, oh shit, we got to take this off. And the other 70% are sitting there going like, what the fuck's going on?
I ain't thought nothing about that damn flag.
Exactly.
What pissed me off with Dukes of Hazzard when they had Corey and Vance on there. Like, what the fuck? Never want to see no Corey and Vance.
Well, that was because
Luke,
Rob Schneider and the other guy, Tom Wopat, he wasn't. They didn't want to. They wanted more money, and they said, "Watch this, we can do it without you." And then they did it, and it didn't work. And then they brought him back, and by that time, it killed the show already. So.
And you know what the funny thing about the Dukes of Hazzard was? When you were our ages, we weren't watching it for Bo and Duke. We were watching it for Daisy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Them little Daisy Duke shorts. That's what we were watching Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I mean that fucking opening scene where she's leaning over with the
car,
the red bikini.
Like,
yes,
yeah, that bikini, and she has high heels on, so her ass is sticking out. Oh yeah,
good old boys.
Catherine Bachman. Catherine Bachman, man, she was a babe back in the day.
She didn't
Not so much now, but
she looked like a snap boy.
Yeah. Was R. Kelly's sentence fair? This is actually very telling too. 55% said yes, and 44% said no. So very close.
Surprised it's that high. I am surprised it's that high.
Yeah.
And it should age be considered when sentencing criminals in general. 71% said yes, 28% said no. So again, that 30% is the ones that make the biggest noise. I'm telling you, it's just like the Obi-Wan Kenobi and all this other stuff. It's that small percentage that makes so much noise that everybody hears. Oh, this is crap. This is crap. This is crap. This is crap. You know what's funny is I think Obi-Wan this past week was still the #1 streaming show. Bro. Even with Stranger Things out there.
The way I knew it was good because look, I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. to watch something if it ain't good or compelling. It just ain't gonna happen. I'm not built that way. If I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch something, in my mind it's damn good.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I get up 4 o'clock 5 weeks straight to watch it before I went to work. So
there you go. So those of you who are still here, remember on my Twitter and over on Chaos Central's Twitter, I will have a poll. That poll is going to have 3 numbers, 1, 2, and 3. Next week, that poll will determine which order we place or that we answer the questions in. So you guys are going to decide next week. So check out that poll. It will be up here in just a little bit. Other than that, though, that is the show tonight. Start with Danny. Danny, tell everybody about yourself one more time.
I'm Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can find me on this very channel, Chaos Central, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, all at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless life throws us a curveball like it did this week with Chris. It has done me occasionally with me, and also sometimes with Nzo. Other than that, we try to stay consistent and true to those times. And of course, because now Obi-Wan, which is the best streaming show to me in this past 2 or 3 months, is off. We will be transitioning Ms. If Chillmonger's in here,
Killmonger's
Ms.
watching.
Marvel to Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And are we going to have a thing tomorrow, Alonzo, or are we going to start that next week?
Next week, probably not. I'm gonna take
All
tomorrow
right.
off.
Next week, we'll be doing our rankings. I don't know whether it's going to be candy bars
It'll
or
be the candy bars one when we get back.
all right, candy bars.
Candy
Best.
bars.
What is your best candy bar? I know what mine is. Uh, but I know it used to be changed now. It used to be Three Musketeers. Now Nutrageous is king to me.
I used to hate Three
Oh,
Musketeers.
my grandma got me on that, boy. Every
Yeah.
single. But now Nutrageous, whoo! That
Okay.
that is the candy bar of candy bars, buddy. But yeah, good show, man. This week, man, like we kind of got our mojo back, I believe, for as energy. I know I did. I can only speak for me. I was feeling a little kind of time to make the donuts, but I did flood it this week, so good. Glad to be back. Good
Yeah.
show, Chris.
All right. Awesome. Anzo, tell everybody about yourself, please.
What up, guys? Biggaford Entertainment. You know, Danny said it all. You know, the Chaos Central shows. Then I have the OOC. We have the tournaments. We have the roundtable coming up. You know, it's been fun. It's a great show tonight, man. Like Danny said, I think everything this week was fire. All the shows we did was fire this week. So I appreciate it.
Good times. All right. Yeah, make sure Sunday at 8:30 Eastern to check that out. And I am going to try to make it. I should be able to make it for a little bit of it at least. But I see Cousin T in here, Poe, Mads Mama Bear, Shifty, Dwan, Rogue Comics. I saw Bone in here. Who else did I see? Lovely Sherry I saw in here. Basel. George Lucas came by again. Daytona Falls came by.
The Lonely Banter came by.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, bro.
Tim Possible came by. We had a lot of people stop by today, guys. Chris came by. Yeah, guys, we really appreciate all the support you're showing us. The best thing you could do, though, is to make sure to retweet us out when you see us go live. Help us get some more people in here and spread the word to have people sub to Chaos Central. We're starting to see the
Talking
numbers.
about subs, I hit 5,000.
Good deal. Good deal. Very good.
5,000. Thank you.
Yeah, but with subs, it comes from you guys passing it on to everybody else, guys. That's how you grow. So we need you guys to spread the word about Chaos Central. Please do that. With that said, though, great show. I love having you guys here. Can't wait for Sunday. I will find a way one way or another to be on for a little bit. And we will hopefully next week we'll have everything back to normal, and we will have the final five again. And make sure you look for that poll so you can pick how we answer the questions next week. With that said, peace.
Peace.
Peace.